Melanie Hodgson. Hi, Melanie.
Oh, hi, Mark. I kind of wasn't prepared for that. Okay, hi everybody. Yeah, I'm Melanie Hodgson, and I work for Bath and North East Somerset Council. I manage a resource called Live Well BANES. Some of you hopefully will have heard of it. So it's in a nutshell, I'll put a link in the chat so you can all have a proper look at it later. But it's essentially information for specific groups of people. It's the Send Local offer, which is information, what's on activities, parenting support for any family who with a child or young person with additional needs and their parent carers. Also, there's the Rainbow Resource Scheme, which is part of Rainbow Resource. So that's a scheme which is similar in some ways to the Council's Discovery Card, where a child or young person who has a diagnosis is able to have a concession at a range of places across BANES and also farther afield. So, for example, we have Bristol Zoo, I can't think off the top of my head, but lots of places. I'll send you the list so you can see there's 40 places across BANES and locally where the child or young person, the offer is different for each participating venue. It's down to them what they offer, but often it might be carer goes free or child goes free, or they could be invited to a specific session for an inclusive session. For example, a sensory friendly session at the Roman Baths where it's quieter and low lighting. So that's a Send Local offer part of the site. There's also information for adults who need care or support to live independently. That is very much so that the target audiences, if you like, are any adult who needs care or support, whether that's mental ill health recovery, physical disability, sensory impairment, learning disability, older age frailty. So there's information to support them to stay independent. So, and finally, last but not least, is the parenting support and children and families universal information. So that it contains all of the childcare that's available in BANES. We have a Ofsted feed comes to us, so everything on there is sort of reliable and up to date, so parents can trust that it's correct. So anything that a parent guardian in BANES would like to find out about it and to support their parenting journey is available there. What else do I want to say? I'll put a link in the chat in a moment. We get about an average of about 20 to 25,000 visits per month to the site, and that's across the board. If anybody's interested in specific analytics, I'm happy to provide those. So I guess the thing I want to promote is warm spaces. So I don't know if anyone's heard of warm spaces. This is the 4th year that we've hosted it on Live Well. And we have now, I think it's 29 or 30 warm spaces across BANES where anyone can go along, and most of them offer, a lot of them offer a free cup of coffee. The intention is to not only for people to have somewhere warm to go, which is particularly apt at the moment because it's getting colder, somewhere it's also to help prevent isolation and loneliness. So people can go along, have a, perhaps some of them, I think some of the venues offer soup and a roll for £1.50, or so it's low cost. It's no judgment. It's not, you don't have to sign in as being there for the warm space. Some of them, like the libraries, already offer existing, they welcome people already. Some it's something extra that they're doing for the autumn and winter. Again, I'll put links to that in the chat in a moment. I can't multitask, so I'll put the link in a minute. That's part of our cost of living information on Live Well. So there's loads of stuff on there. Support with bills, energy, food insecurity, benefits, all that sort of thing. So it's a sort of package of cost of living support. So I guess my shout out to you is if you have a look at Live Well, if you aren't on it, I mean, many of your organisations are already on there. If you're not, get registered. We reach a lot of people, and we can certainly help promote what you do, and follow us on our social media. We're also very happy to promote your service that way as well, via Facebook and Instagram. So I think that's probably all I want to say for now. So yeah, nice to see everybody.
Thank you, Mel. Does anyone have any questions for Mel at this point? I don't see any hands at the present.
Stunned
I
into
know.
silence.
Oh, Sue, you wanted to come in. Hello, Sue.
Hi, Mel. Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Often being asked by over 25s, 35-year age group, is there any help for filling out forms?
Well, we would link to services that do provide that. We don't do it ourselves in my team, but we would link to organisations. Depends on the client type, whether it's somebody with a learning disability or somebody who has a physical disability and needs support, or so if you have a look on Live Well BANES, the adult, so there will be information there under that adult section.
Okay, all right, lovely, thank you.
Okay,
thank you, Mel. Okay,
welcome.
next I've got Toby. I know you've got to leave a little early, Toby, so I'll come to you next if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Mark, and apologies to you all that actually I have to leave in about 15 minutes time. I've got a work meeting, so I'm sorry about that. I'm a volunteer for a charity called Talk Club. Talk Club is a men's mental fitness group that runs at Sanctuary Barbers in the centre of Bath on the 2nd and 4th Monday of the month. And we call it mental fitness because the idea is that men come along and talk about how they're doing out of 10. And this is to promote them to speak openly and honestly about their feelings and about what's going on in their lives. It's part of a broader talk club that was born primarily out of the statistics that 75% of all suicides in the UK are men, but Talk Club is not a suicide prevention group. As I say, it's a mental fitness group. The idea being that collectively we try and catch men further upstream, men who might just be struggling in their lives or isolated and might just benefit from meeting regularly and discussing what's going on in their world. And my purpose of being here today is just to help spread the word of that and to find out whether there's any organizations that we can connect with that might be able to signpost to Talk Club, or whether you've got any suggestions for ways that we can promote it and attract more attendees to our sessions.
Thank you, Toby. And if anyone wants to refer people along to the group, how's the best way of people getting in contact with the group if they wanted to take part?
I will post a link to our page, and that also links to the broader Talk Club website. And I'll also put the email address of Bath Talk Club into the chat as well. And I'd be delighted to hear from you and talk further.
Thank you. I think I got Melanie first.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Toby, we'd love to share what you do on Live Well on our social media and on the website to reach as many men as possible, because I think that's fantastic. So yeah, I'll put my email, and I think you're emailing everybody anyway, but that would be great. So yeah, thank you.
No, thank you very much.
Okay, and I've got Ashley Winter next. Hi, Ashley.
Hi there. Hi, Toby. Thanks for that. I'm not here to speak about this today, but as you brought it up, I think it's quite relevant. In my spare time, I'm a director of a men's mental health walking group called Men Walking and Talking, which we've got 50 groups all over the country. We haven't got one where you are, but we've got a couple in Avon and Somerset. So I think it'd be worth us having a chat, just see how we can link in and work together if that's all right. I'll pop my email address in the chat. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashley. I can't see any more hands at the moment. I'm going to move on next to Helen Ince. Hello, Helen. Oh, I don't think Helen's. It's Helen, the lady who's got problems with her IT. Somebody had IT problems at the beginning. I'll move on to Chantal Wiltshire. I think Helen's got problems with her microphone, so she can't actually speak on the call at the moment. Okay, so Chantal, over to you.
Okay, so hi, my name's Chantal Wiltshire. I'm a dementia advisor from the Alzheimer's Society. So we're the Alzheimer's Society is obviously a national charity, but we're a team of dementia advisors that cover Bath and North East Somerset. And what we do is we provide kind of advice, information, and general support to anyone who is affected by dementia. So that can be the person with the diagnosis, but also carers, friends, family, anyone who has a question, and anything like that, really. So we kind of support people over the phone, or we can meet people face to face as well, usually in their homes, and we just talk about kind of how they're doing on after their diagnosis, how they're coping with caring, and referring to other services and things like that as well. So yeah, that's kind of what we do as dementia advisors. I'll pop our email.
I think your sound's just gone, Chantal. I think
Me.
Sorry, I don't know, it keeps muting me, I'm not sure. Anyway, okay. But other things that we also do provide is, apart from just our dementia advisor service, is we do something called a carers information and support program. So this is primarily held online. But it's so it's an online program that carers can get involved in and learn more about dementia itself, and kind of strategies for coping with dementia symptoms, and things for like looking after themselves. And we do brush up on things like finances, LPAs, and stuff like that as well. So that's something that we can do. We also locally hold a Singing for the Brain service as well. So this is twice a month. So the first and third Tuesday at the All Saints Church in Weston. So this is again for carers and people with dementia to come along. There's an opportunity for them to kind of chat and sit with other carers and people with dementia before the singing commences. It's by no means a formal choir, so we do say that to everybody. You don't need singing ability to kind of come along to that. So yes, so that's another kind of opportunity for people to get together that we do. And we also can give, we do talks and presentations and things like that to other services. We've done quite a few at kind of events and things like that, to again promote our services, but also just generally to talk about dementia and kind of get the information out there about what can be done and what support is available for people. And we do dementia friend sessions as well, which are again an opportunity for anyone who wants to know more about dementia itself, and ways to cope, and things like that. So yeah, that's kind of us in a nutshell.
thanks, Chantal. Just a quick question for me. I mean, how are the numbers of people you're seeing that are coming to you at the moment? Is that increasing, or is it quite a steady flow at the moment?
Yeah, I think I mean, I've been working for the Alzheimer's Society for about 4 years now. I think there definitely has been an increase. We primarily do get people who have just been diagnosed at Remind, the memory clinic. But we, as I say, we do accept referrals from people can self-refer. We accept referrals from any other services, and things like that. But yeah, I would say that there has been definitely an increase in numbers over the last few years.
Thank you, Chantal. Any other questions at this point for Chantal? Can't see any hands. I can see Melissa Michael needs to leave at 12:45, so I'm going to come to Melissa next. Hi, Melissa.
Oh, hi. Hi, everyone. Melissa Michael with SAFA. It's a pleasure to be here, and I did post my email. I would love to connect with anyone to just carry on conversations, but my remit is to really bring awareness and build relationships within the statutory sector. But already there's, you're always hearing something great, something that's so relevant. Very much would love to talk to anyone about collaboration and see where we could go from there. So yes, please do email me. We can have a informal intro or whatever you would like.
Lovely. Thank you, Melissa. Next, I've got Ashley Winter. Hello, Ashley.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. This is my first meeting with yourselves. So I work for Help for Heroes. I'm a veteran myself that came through the Help for Heroes pathway on my recovery from being discharged from the military. So I've got inside information, if you like. I've only worked for the charity for about 7 months, so I'm still quite new to the role. However, I've done the same role for various military charities for the last 10 or so years. I live up in Hereford, so quite a way away from this area, but I do cover South Wales, Herefordshire, Worcestershire, Gloucestershire, Avon, North Somerset, and parts of Wiltshire, so quite a large area. So I am actually grateful that this is online rather than in person, because you can imagine it takes a whole day to come to meetings. For those that don't know what Help for Heroes do, I'll give a brief overview, but I'll put the link in the website for the website in the chat as well. But essentially, we support anybody that served one paid day in the armed forces and their families. So that is 1 day of military training. They don't have to have finished training to be eligible for our support. And it's really important to say that, because some people will think that they're not eligible until they've been in following their training. So it's 1 paid day in the military, and that includes training. It also includes anybody that served, including national service. And you may think that's a really weird comment to make, but anybody here that's had any dealing with anybody that served in national service, they don't see themselves as a military veteran, or a lot of them don't. And when I've been doing a survey in our local hospital, asking if they've got a military community, they usually say no. And then when you get chatting, it turns out they've done 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the military, and often on active service. And the comment they usually come out with is, "Oh, it was only national service," and I think it's really important to say that, because they are obviously really valued in the veteran community, and obviously eligible for our support. So my role is a case manager, and essentially I'm front and center within the charity of people coming on board with us. They will have a triage first if they put their details on our online form that I'll share with you as well. They'll go through for that triage and then be pointed to one of many avenues. Usually they will come to a case manager first, and we will help them navigate our system and support them through all of the avenues. So those avenues are, we've got our own clinical liaison team that can support with GPs, specialists, surgery, or anything else with liaison with the NHS or private services. We've got our own occupational therapists who come into their own when it's linked in with our grants team. So an example would be somebody in the area that we're here today was in need of a new mobility scooter. He came through to me first. I then referred him to the grants team to go through the processes. He needed an occupational therapy review, so we've got our own internal ones who went to do a home visit. We then took him to view a mobility scooter, various bits of paperwork done, and he received it yesterday. The process was very quick in terms of him getting that scooter physically. I only had my first conversation with him about, I think, 2 months ago. So it is a relatively quick process that we can do by having our own occupational therapist, clinical team, and grants team as well. We've got our own recovery college that is an online-based learning platform. We have facilitators that will support people go through those sessions as well. So it could be sleep, pain management, food and nutrition courses, and various other ones. Again, it'll all be on the website, so I don't want to take up too much of the time here today. We've got our own psychological mental health support team as well that's called Hidden Wounds. We've got multiple psychological support officers with us who offer varying levels of psychological support. And again, I'll share that for you to have a bit of a read into. And if you want to have one of those come into one of these presentations at some point to give a more detailed explanation, then we can sort that for you as well. We have our sports recovery as well, that is a physical, I must say, non-competitive sports recovery side of things, where of course you put a bunch of ex-military in a room with a dodgeball, a football, or even a bocce game. They're all going to be very competitive, but we must stress it's non-competitive. It is there to aid their recovery. They can then go on to our coaching academy and become coaches in that sport, in an adaptive sport. And we've got various examples of people doing that who are now in the process of becoming coaches for the Invictus Games that will happen in 2027 in Birmingham. So a lot of people go full circle, really, from being injured, competing in the Invictus Games or anything similar, coming through with us in our recovery services, becoming a coach, and then going back to give back, if you like. We've got various other things going on as well that you may see. We go to the hubs, we've got our own coffee mornings, and we link in collaboratively with anybody else that wants to do it. Certainly, as Melissa had said, I'm very happy, very open to work collaboratively with any other statutory services, charity services, and military charities. So please take my details. If you want any further information, I'm always at the end of the phone or Teams call. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Ashley. I know my colleague Alison's put her contact details in the chat for you, because she's the Armed Forces Covenant Officer for BANES Council, so she's happy to have a chat separately offline if you wish to.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've got William who would like to come in. Hi, William.
I was just going to say, yeah, thank you for that, Ashley. And I'd really love to talk to yourself and Melissa and Alison as well about how can we kind of better connect our fuel poverty and cost of living advice services to your teams. We work in Wiltshire and do lots of work with ex-forces and health related things to do with forces, but I find that we don't so much in BANES, and those groups aren't always so apparent to us, and maybe that's to do with the targeting we're doing, where we're going. It's us, not them, for sure. And I'd love to talk to you guys about how we could reach those communities better. So yeah, I'll put my email in the chat as well.
Well, thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, William. Lovely. I can't see any more hands at the moment. Thank you, Ashley. I'll next move on to Anne McMillan. Hello, Anne.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Yep. So hello. Yeah, my name's Anne, and I'm here really to represent for the first time, I think, a community interest company called First Impressions. So we've been around since 2021, and it was set up and run entirely by volunteers. And it's targeted, it's a sort of an interest company that's targeted specifically at helping women build confidence during sort of particular challenging sort of life stages. So whether that might be returning to work after caring responsibilities, coping with redundancy, ill health, menopause, or overcoming poverty and disadvantage. And what we offer is styling sessions with clothes, and give people capsule sort of wardrobes that they can use to go for interviews and for their first few sort of months at work. The clothes that we have are all sort of pre-loved clothes, all sort of high quality, donated from lots of people locally, so individuals and also companies. As I say, we particularly started to give sort of share clothing with women who were looking to re-enter the world of work, which we still do. But I think we also appreciate that there's lots of steps before you even get to that journey, and it's helping women build confidence. But it is through using clothes to do that. We do have local partners that we work with. So we work with people like the job centres and CTEC Plus and Department of Work and Pensions. But we work with HMP Eastwood Park. So the women there will maybe leaving prison and hoping to enter the world of work. So we can kit them out with outfits, or it could be that they've got to attend court and they have nothing to wear, or they're being released on temporary license and doing some sort of temporary work as a kind of a stepping stone. But that's kind of just one example of people we work with. But we also work with I think it's called Fear Free and Mercy in Action and Nelson's Trust. So there are all other charities also working with women. And I guess what I'm looking to do today is, again, to give a shout out to see if there's any other partners, charities that we could or should be collaborating with in order for women to be able to access the service. The way we work is we do have, we call it it's a room in a place called Fairfield House, which is just on the very edge of Bath. But more often, actually, now we do what we call pop-ups, and we go to where women are and in spaces that they trust. And we usually get a list of people who have been referred to us to see, and we will just bring an enormous selection of clothes with us, and as I say, attempt to kit people out. And I don't think there's anybody who has ever left a session who hasn't gone away with 2 or 3 outfits. And we're just about to celebrate having had our 500th client. So yeah, as I said, the purpose of being here is just to let you know about First Impressions and to see if there are people out there that we could and should be connecting with and collaborating with.
Thank you, Anne. Does anyone have any questions for Anne at all? Jessica.
Hi, Anne. I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. Could you pop your details? Oh, there you are, in the chat. Okay.
I will do. Yep, happy to.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Okay.
I was just going to ask Anne, how do people find out about your service? Is it purely through the organisations that you're working with, or do you publish any information for people to find out about when upcoming events or sessions are taking place?
Yes, it's a mix, but I would say by and large, it's working through our partners who tend to sort of publicise that we are available, and then will connect us with individuals, and we'll just do either arrange to go on a specific date where we might see 6 or 8 clients, or just see people, just to see one client. It doesn't really matter, but it is generally through partners. We do advertise in newsletters, in sort of community centres, notice boards, Facebook and things, but I would say the majority of our referrals come through the partners that we work with.
Thank you. I can see Claire Bendor, you've got your hand up.
Yes.
Oh, hello.
Hi there.
Anne.
Hiya.
Thank you for telling us all about yourself and your great work you do. Well, I've never heard of this before ever, so that's really good. I've got a question. There's a few of our patients at Peasdown St John. I work in a doctor's surgery, and I'm a care coordinator at the doctor's surgery, and there's some young women in their 30s, 20s that have never had a job before and would, really appreciate, they're on universal credit, and they would really appreciate some support with attending an interview and picking an outfit. And also the power of a pretty dressing up for a woman is so empowering and increase their confidence. would that be a cohort of people you would be interested in? The ones that have never haven't got the confidence to apply for jobs and get in the job market?
Yeah, 100%. Actually, yeah, we'd be very happy to get involved there. So, if I pop my contact details in the chat,
yeah,
I'd love to be able to follow that up with you.
Yeah, I mean, in Peasdown we have you know, a community space called the Hive, and the area is a little bit deprived, I would say, and there's loads and loads of people, young women on universal credit. They have a lot of mother and baby groups, and they meet there. It would be fabulous if you could bring your clothes and we could all have a play around.
No, it sounds absolutely perfect, spot on. I mean, we work with young women right through to, you know, women in their sort of 60s, because in fact, you know, there's a lot of people that continue to work well into their 60s, and indeed some people who have had to go back to work because of the current economic conditions and things. So yeah, it's a huge age range that we work with.
Excellent, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And I noticed there's a couple of comments you might want to look at in the chat about the wellbeing house that Kiro run that both Kaylee and Simon have highlighted. So
okay,
yeah,
thank you.
Again, that might be useful for you.
Thank you.
Lovely, thanks very much. Next, I've got Miranda Graves. Hello, Miranda.
Hello, can you see and hear me?
I can hear you, but your screen is just
a
little dark at the moment. There we go. Yeah, you're here with us now.
Okay. Hello,
welcome.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to talk on behalf of me and Helen, who you mentioned earlier. Her camera's not working. I think there's a few tech issues today. We work for Your Park, Bristol and Bath. And Helen and I both work in the Access team, Access and Community team. So I'm the Access and Community Officer and Helen is the Access and Community Lead. And so our aim is to make parks accessible for disabled people and carers who are often the most excluded from green spaces and parks in Bristol and Bath. And we're going to do that by kind of co-designing and working with disabled people and carers to produce things like toolkits and access guides, just to hear exactly what they want to change in their local parks and areas. So obviously Bristol and Bath, I mean, I've been in this role now for 2 weeks, I think. So I'm learning very green spaces and parks in Bristol and Bath. But for example, at the moment, we are starting to do a consultation in Weston in Bath to look at what people in that area might like to see changed in the Weston Rec Park, and what we can do to improve access for disabled people and carers. And we want to have a range of people to feedback on that. So we're going to hold a couple of consultations in the new year. And actually, if anyone knows someone that might be in the area or might be interested in getting involved in that, I'll put our email address in the chat. So you can just send over any suggestions or we can have a conversation about that. But yeah, Your Park really looks at 3 different areas. So it looks at access, it looks at health, so improving mental health and the well-being of communities through initiatives and groups in parks and green spaces, and also about the nature and enhancing natural habitats and supporting green spaces through sort of rewilding and that sort of thing. So yeah, we have a huge that we can do, but Helen and I are focusing on access. Yeah, so if anyone feels like they want to connect with us, are in the Bristol and Bath area, then please, I'll put my my email in the chat. Please just reach out to us.
Thank you, Miranda. Just one question. Have you contacted the Carers Centre at all, or who are based on the Lower Bristol Road in Bath?
Yes.
You have?
Yeah, I believe we
Excellent.
have. We've contacted it specifically for this Western project. I know Helen's been contacting a wide range of different businesses and organisations in Bath. But yes, we need as many people to kind of get involved as possible that are disabled or are carers of somebody with a disability, that we can kind of champion their voices.
Perfect. Thank you, Miranda. As I say, if you've got any contact details you wanted to put in the chat, if anyone else had any suggestions, then they can obviously contact you directly. That would be great.
Yeah, will do. Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely. Next, I've got Simon Pittman. Hello, Simon. How are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm good, thanks. Yeah, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Yeah, nice to see you. Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Simon, and I work for the Wellbeing Service here at Everyone Health. So Everyone Health is obviously a relatively new organisation for a lot of people, including ourselves. So Everyone Health won the contract in Bath and North East Somerset from the 1st of April this year to deliver health and wellbeing services for adults. So I definitely recognise some faces, and I'm sure you will recognise some of my team as well. And Kaylee's one of my team that's also on the call. So we have some similarities to the services that we ran previously under HCRG Care Group, and there are also some differences. So 6-7 months into the new contract, really, it's just about sort of getting the word out and explaining what we do. So we still have a stop smoking service that we had previously to Everyone Health winning the contract. We also have a new service, which is a wellbeing coaching service. So we can support people on a one-to-one basis for up to a year around a specific health goal, which is our well-being. So it could be weight loss, it could be healthy eating, could be increase in physical activity. We also have an emotional well-being coach service too, which supports people who are maybe experiencing that sort of lower lower emotional, mental well-being. And obviously we sort of encourage people we can support people who have got serious mental illness, but really with a lot of what we're doing so far in the initial stages of the contract is making sure we get those appropriate referrals. So obviously we need to make clear that there are fantastic specialist mental health services in Bath and North East Somerset, which we're all aware of, and obviously making sure that we are signposting people to those. So my team are not trained in mental health and not mental health specialists, but they can support people around obviously physical health, which obviously, as we all know, links heavily to mental health and emotional health. So we can still see people who are experiencing those conditions, but as long as they are getting support elsewhere from AWP or Bath Mind and so on. We also link in with GLL and Dragonfly, who are the leisure providers in the area, on an exercise on referral scheme. So if somebody wants to come in and increase their physical activity, we can also support people on that at a low cost. To the patient. Obviously, it's provided by the leisure providers. We also my team are trained in NHS health checks, so it's another thing that we're looking to increase. We can offer people the full NHS health check if they meet the criteria. That's something that we're currently doing. We also have a volunteer service, so through our volunteer portal, Simply Connect. So we kind of link people into volunteer opportunities that are across Bath and North East Somerset. So again, if you've got any, please get in touch with us. If you've got any opportunities for people to volunteer within your services, let us know and we can get it onto our website. Have I missed anything, Kay? Stop smoking? No, I've mentioned that. MEC, yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thank you. So MEC, so making every contact count, is I'm sure a lot of you have heard of this kind of healthy conversations training. So again, we can actually offer workplaces the opportunity to take part in. We can deliver MEC training to workplaces, and that MEC is, as I say, make every contact count. It's all around having those healthy conversations with our service users, making sure we're getting out and they're getting out what they need from that conversation. So that's something that we can deliver to your workplace if you're interested. I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. But yeah, nice to see you, everyone, and thanks for having me.
Thank you, Simon. That was a very comprehensive list. Did you have anything to add at all, Kaylee? Because I know you're both obviously working for the same organisation.
No, I just wanted to say hello, and it's so nice to see you.
And you. Thank you. Lovely. I can't see any other hands at the moment. And so if you've got any questions, if I do skip on too quickly, then just pop them in the chat and I'm sure people can come back to them. Somebody's hello, sorry, I think my microphone went off then. Sorry, a few technical hitches. I've got William next. Hi, William.
Hello, I had technical issues as well, just in that part there. Simon, I caught most of what you said, and then even though I'm in the office, I lost the internet, which is crazy. I didn't think that was going to happen here, but yeah, I'm back on. Yeah, I'm William Cottrell. I'm an advice development manager at Centre for Sustainable Energy. You may well know us as the home energy team, and we work as part of Energy at Home and work alongside Age UK and CAB and lots of others giving energy advice in BANES and BWCE and lots of people like that. Yeah, we give, and actually lots of you will likely know my colleague Joe Salisbury as well, who may well have been along to some of these meetings and gives lots of casework, in-depth energy advice too. So we're a charity that does kind of fuel poverty advice, energy saving advice. We also do local and community work, research, and lots of other things in BANES. Today I just wanted to talk a little bit about our advice line. So our advice line's open 9 till 5, Monday to Friday for the whole of the winter, and it's starting to get busy. And as you said earlier, it's starting to get cold. People typically start calling in greater numbers when it drops below 14 degrees, and they talk about their boiler being off or intermittent heating and things like that. And we're into 0 today, and I think we might be minus tomorrow. So big increase in calls to us, but we're really well staffed up. And yeah, our advice line runs all throughout the winter. Our advisors give energy saving, energy efficiency for homes, retrofit, fuel poverty and cost of living advice. And that might be through our outbound team, or if you get through to the line here, or a project called Warmer Homes Advice and Money. Some of you may know it as WHAM in BANES as well, and that'd be someone like Joe or Shelby, one of those people that you might have seen at one of our meetings. Yeah, as a kind of context of fuel poverty at the moment, a wider context, I'd say, we're 3 years into the cost of living crisis, and it's worse after those 3 years. We've been in an energy crisis for longer. People in fuel poverty have gone up from around 4.5 million to nearly 6.5, maybe 6.2 million people in fuel poverty right now. And national debt to energy companies, which always sat around 1 billion for a long time, was 1.4 billion, is well up at 3 to 4 billion now. So the cost of living crisis affects people in multiple ways, but lots of our kind of colleagues at Independent Age and Age UK and various others report that energy bills is ever present on people's mind, and is the biggest of the cost of living crisis worries. So yeah, so it has a big effect, and we see lots of people. We might help them short term with vouchers and just getting into contact with their energy supplier, or help them more long term with improvements to their homes, in-depth casework, that kind of thing. So yeah, please do refer. We're particularly interested right now in giving training around damp and mold, and something called Energy Essentials. We call it Energy Essentials, where professionals can get some extra training on how to refer to us, but then also how to kind of like see some of the the triggers of fuel poverty they might see in their own clients. I'll post about the training. Our last one of the year is in early December, so I'll post that in the chat here. What else have I got to say, really? If I go any further, I'll get too doom and gloom with this time of year. It is winter, and it's pretty bad for people experiencing no heat. We have a real increase in no heat situations, and BANES is not unique to that. But we also have a really good team of no heat workers, and we use lots of grants and funds. So particularly those who maybe are leaving hospital and seeing yourselves, and you know that they're going back to a home that has an intermittent or broken heating system, or if they say to you over the last 6 months it's been a bit dodgy or anything like that, please do refer them. It might be that we could get them a short-term repair, or we could get a replacement in some cases using kind of eco funding and other funding, things like that. Thanks so much.
Thank you, William. That's great. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. I've got Claire Bendel next. Hello, Claire.
Oh, hello. My name is Claire and I work at Hillcrest Doctors Surgery. I'm a care coordinator at the surgery. So I'm just here really to learn a lot about different charities and organisations within the BANES area to support my patients. Thank you.
Thank you, Claire. Okay, next I've got Sue Bendel next. Hello, Sue.
Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm a care coordinator at Summer Valley Medical Group based in Midsummer Norton. I'm very similar to Claire. We're on the same team, but here to find out lots of information to support our patients. So thank you very much for all the information that you're giving to us. Brilliant. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Sue, and you, Claire. Thank you. Rachel Hours. Hello.
Hi there. I was just having a look through the list. I see many familiar faces, but for those of you that don't know who I am, I'm the Community Partnerships Advisor for Avon Fire and Rescue Service, and I do a lot of networking and attending meetings like these, both online and face-to-face, just to tell people about our home fire safety visit service for vulnerable people in their home, and setting up partnerships and referral mechanisms so that organisations like all of yours can refer people in to us for a visit. The visit itself is, I'll do a very short version of what it's all about. It's a free pre-arranged visit to a person's home, just to basically provide further support to members of the community that might be more at risk of having a fire in their home. Obviously, then they need us the most, and I work a lot to do a lot of education around how to do the referral, but also the visit itself, so that when you're talking to your service users, you can be, really bigging it up and telling everybody how good the service is and that it's really beneficial. It covers lots of things from cooking and electrical safety to planning escape routes and what to do if in the event of a fire, nighttime routines and things like that. There's a lot of different equipment that we can provide, all free of charge as well. People often think fire service smoke alarms, and they come hand in hand, yes, but we do lots of other things like lockable letterboxes, deaf alarms for people if they're hard of hearing or deaf, fire retardant bedding, sprays, all sorts of things. So it's not just the smoke alarms that we provide. We do what's the other one I was going to mention about? Dementia bands. Probably a lot of people are familiar with these. They're a yellow wristband that is programmed at the time of the visit to just contain person's date of birth, rough area of where they live, and their next of kin's contact number. So if they're at risk of wandering and things like that, and they're found somewhere where they perhaps shouldn't be, you just scan it with the NFC app, and that'll bring up those details just to help get the person home safely. So it's just an extra way of safeguarding them, really. And the police offer it as well, but we will do it as part of the home fire safety visit if it's requested. There's plenty of vulnerabilities. All of our criteria, is on our website. And I generally say to people, if there's something that you notice, whether it's in conversation with somebody or you're in the person's home and you see something like poor electrical practices, or the fact that they are over 65 years of age, they might have young children under the age of 5. If there's anything that makes you kind of think, oh, this could possibly be a little bit of a red flag, maybe a little bit of a concern, is to just do the referral. Talk to them obviously about it, what it's about, what we can offer, and just do the referral. The worst what that we can say is no, but here is some alternative resources. Fire safety in the home booklets, online fire safety checkers and things like that. But if people are eligible for a visit, a member of our staff, will contact the nominated person to arrange the visit. I believe I've had a quick look through on the list. As I said, there's a lot of partners that I have set up that are on the call, but if there's anybody that's thinking that this would be something that their service users would benefit from, I'll put all my details in the chat as well, and links and things. Just feel free to get in touch, and we can kind of chat about it further. Really, the referral's really easy to do. We do training for teams and stuff like that as well. All sorts of things really. I spin many plates every single day, so it's really just as much about all the prevention work that we do rather than the response action, and just getting out there as much as possible, really, just to reach as many people as we can.
That's lovely. Thank you, Rachel. I think Sue's asked if you're able to share any booklets about the service with her at all, Sue Bendel from Summer Valley.
Yes,
I'm not sure if that's something you're able to do. That's great. I think I've got one or two more speakers left. Then we probably be able to get away. Jessica Hudson, are you still with us, Jessica? Yeah. Hello, Jessica.
Hi, Mark. Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica. I am the Community Site Loss Advisor of Site Support West. We provide support to those who are blind or visually impaired, or partially sighted. So I am the community advisor specifically for BANES, whilst we run across all of the southwest of England. My focus is on in Bath, Midsummer Norton, Keynsham, and I've recently started a new social hub in Chew Magna. Please do pass their details on my details on to them. I'm really trying to grow the reach and engagement in that hub in particular. So how it works is alongside the socials that I run in all of these areas, as mentioned above, we offer sight loss assessments with people. They're able to have a one-to-one meeting with me, either at one of our hubs or telephonically, and I can provide various resources, signposts to specific items that they might find beneficial, signpost to other organizations. Many of you, I have already signposted a few of our service users to many people in this group. And so that's how we're supporting people with low vision and sight loss. Going to pop my details in the chat as well, and I'd love to connect with you all. Thank you.
Thanks, Jessica. Just out of interest, whereabouts in the Chew Valley are you working from?
So I host my hubs once a month in these various locations, and when we do Chew Magna, it's always going to be on the third Wednesday of the month, and that is from 10 to 12 at the Millennium Hall, and I will pop the details of that as well.
Yeah.
But people are more than welcome to join our other hubs. Within our website, there is a section called Community Hubs, and you can type in a postcode or the area of a potential service user or referral, or if you're just interested to see where your nearest one is. And the website's quite intuitive. It'll just show you where the next one is, what the dates are, and so on. But generally, they run once a month at these various locations. Magna is the the third Wednesday of the month. And then on Friday, I will be at the Keynsham Library from 10 until 1. And again, people are welcome to do a drop-in session, join in for a cup of tea and a social, grab a biscuit, and I think that's where we also get a lot of value is from our service users who are able to come to those sessions and just learn from other people who are going through similar experiences, and they all come back to say, wow, I really didn't feel like going out. I don't have a lot of confidence in navigation, but once I got myself there, I found that my confidence has just really improved. So yeah, would be great to connect. Cool. Yes, sensory walks, yes. And then I'm going to pop in the social the new social in Chew Valley. That's my baby, is launching the Chew Magna Hub. So yeah. Thanks everyone.
Thank you. That was really interesting. Thank you, Jessica. Last but not least, Dave Dixon. Hi, Dave. Are you going to give us a quick update about the Community Wellbeing Hub?
Yeah, no, I can do. My name's Dave Dixon. I'm the Corporate Engagement Manager for Bath North and Somerset Council, and I work with Alison and Mark and Sarah in the Community Wellbeing Hub at Peasdown, where we've been for 5.5 years. And just a quick update. Obviously, we've got with partnership board meeting on Friday. We've got 38 partners. We're working very closely with the university with 2 postgrad students doing their doctorates around some of the research work. So we're undertaking quite a lot of number crunching of statistical information that the hub has gathered over the last 5 years. So we get about 1,000 referrals a month from all across Bath and North East Somerset that go out to our 38 different partners. And what we're able to do now with Rivian, which is actually really exciting and might be quite useful for a lot of your organisations, is not only can we identify where the peaks and troughs are in provision of services for local people, we can also identify across a whole range of areas actually what those issues are. So whether it's debt consolidation, mental health and well-being, food, and so forth. So when we get a bit further into that process, there'll be, I think, probably an opportunity for us to hold a session one afternoon as a workshop and just explain to people about how useful that information can be, partly about targeting your own resources, and also actually about partly identifying to some of your commissioned partners or people that may be commissioning you for particular services, how valuable your services are in particular areas and the kind of things that you need to focus on. So all that side of it is really, really quite exciting. I've just sent some stuff out. We've got we're doing another, on a lighter note, another Community Wellbeing Hub video. We do lots of videos. We do lots of videos to songs and things. We've got one about Peter the polar bear that's going out, hopefully that our partners will take part in, which we find is just very useful in highlighting the activities of the hub and what we're trying to do. So in a sense, that's all I've got to say really, in the fact that, I mean, obviously that is in addition to the day job that Mark and Sarah and Alison and I do around community engagement and communications and so forth, but it's such a vital part of some of the provision of services for our local people that it's important that we carry on doing it. So I think that's probably enough for me, and it's been really useful today to listen to some of the new people that have come in and some of the areas that we didn't know much about, and hopefully you find these interagency meetings really useful. It's only an hour usually, or just over an hour and a quarter, and because we can do it virtually, it just does link people up really well together, and hopefully you'll be, you know, talking to each other outside of the meetings itself. But thank you, Mark. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak.
Thanks, Dave. That's great. Thanks for your update. Just before we finish, I've just got a quick update. We have just launched the this year's Community Awards. We've got a number of categories that are in. You can search on our website under Community Awards. We work with partners such as Everyone Health, the Student Community Partnership, our parish ELCA group, and the 3SG. And we each year look to reward volunteers in our community who have made like an outstanding contribution. And these awards, as I say, will be recognised by the chair of the council next year, where people will be invited to a civic ceremony and receive their awards and certificates as part of the programme that we're running. So nominations are open online, and forms are also available in our one-stop shop and main libraries if people have any access issues in doing it online, but we do prefer them to come in online where possible. So we would ask where possible if you could share that information with people, because we like to get a broad range of nominations come through, because we've got awards right from younger people right through to people who have been volunteering in their communities for a great deal of time. I think Alison just popped the link in the chat there, and like she says, the deadline is the 2nd of January, and then we will look to sift through those nominations, and one of the awards will have the public will have an opportunity to vote on it, and that'll be for the award for charity of the year. So it gives our residents a chance to be involved within the process as well. So I think that's everyone who's spoken today, and I'd like to thank everybody for your time. And if you've got any other organisations you think that would be interested in coming to these meetings, they happen every 2 months. They're always scheduled from 12 till 2. And they're on our website, the dates are, and people can just join through the Teams link like you guys have today. So yeah, anyone that you think would be interested, please share. And we're always really keen to hear about anything new or any updates from existing people that have joined us in the past. So we've got a real comprehensive view of what's happening within our communities. So unless anyone's got anything else that they wanted to say, I can't see any hands or anything else popping up in the chat at the moment. I'd like to wish you a good rest of your day and give you a little bit of time back. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks very much.